Welcome back to Cooking with Kayla D. I'm Kayla, and this is my husband, Randy. My disclaimer. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell so you get all the up-to-date episodes. Today we are making BierRocks, or Piroshkis, or Runzas. Whatever culture you're from, there's a name for these delicious meat pies. And now for the ingredients. You'll need 1/2 cup of chopped onion, 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 pound of ground beef, 10 ounces of chopped cabbage, 2 egg yolks, and 12 or a dozen of dinner rolls. You could also use pizza dough if you would like. Optional ingredients for toppings is mustard, everything bagel seasoning, sesame seeds, or cheese. And this is the dough that I chose to use. I just got a bag of frozen dinner rolls from my local market, and then I followed the directions on getting them out and thawing them out and then allowing them to have that first rise. So that's what I did. There are also some other options. There's different brands of dinner rolls you could use for frozen. They're about that size. They roll out perfectly fine once they have risen to be able to stuff them with our mixture. Just make sure that you do follow directions on the package to let them thaw and rise one time. You need at least one rise if you're using a frozen yeast roll. Also, they do have foil ones there where they come in a little foil container. You can use those. I know those are a little cheaper. They also have pizza dough crust you can get in a can. Then you wouldn't have to worry about rising. You can just cut to size you need and then roll it out. They also sell pre-made pizza dough there in the deli section at most markets. I know it's about $2 at your local Walmart. If you are keto or low carb, you can get a box of this Carb Quick. You can pick it up at your local grocery store. Walmart does carry it, and so does Amazon. We have a box here that we had got. Just follow the pizza dough instructions to be able to make this recipe from that box. So first you want to do is get your skillet on medium to medium high heat. You want to go ahead and get your oil right into the skillet. And the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is saute our onions. You want to saute those for 2 to 3 minutes until they start to turn translucent in color. And then you'll go ahead and add in your garlic. And I don't like my garlic to burn, which I'm sure you wouldn't either. So keep that stirring around, and you only want to do that for about 60 seconds to a minute and a half before you add in your ground beef. And as soon as your ground beef is crumbled and added in, you want to stir immediately so you can avoid that garlic becoming burnt. After you have your beef in, you want to go ahead and give that a quick stir and let that cook for about a minute to a minute and a half, and then add on your salt and pepper. Once you have that on, go ahead and stir that around and get that well blended throughout everything. And then you're going to want to let your meat cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. When you see it almost all the way gray, then you'll want to go ahead and start turning your meat to get the rest of it cooked through. Get that turned and then let that sit for about 2 more minutes. At that point, you're going to go ahead and add in your cabbage. I'm just using some angel hair slice bag cabbage. It's a 10-ounce bag I got at the market. You can buy a whole cabbage and put it in chunky and chopped if you want. I just feel like this is better for filling the dough rolls up. Also, if you do not want to use pre-made dough rolls like that, you can go ahead and make your own dough, or you can buy the already made rolls from your bakery section and just stuff them and then just heat them up in the oven for like a minute and they'll be ready to serve. They are better when you put them into the fresh dough like that, but if you want to just do it the easy way, you can just fill up any type of roll or hamburger bun from the grocery store. Make sure to stir your cabbage in and mix it well with your meat and your other ingredients. And then you want to cook this on low for about 2 to 3 minutes. Add in your Worcestershire sauce. And also, I added in 1 tablespoon of water because mine was running a little bit dry. At this point, I turned my heat off. I went ahead and stirred that through again really quick, and then I removed this from the heat and put it into a bowl to cool down. You want your filling cool if you're putting this into a raw dough. Otherwise, it's going to tear holes into your dough and the filling will come out everywhere. So make sure you cool this down for at least 20 minutes to an hour before filling your dough. And as you can see, my rolls have doubled in size, so they are ready to go. There's our filling. We're going to go ahead and roll out our roll. You can make these into round rolls or you can make them into an oval shaped pie. I did it both ways just to show you here. So you'll go ahead and get your dough into a nice little circle there. Once you have it kind of formed into a circle, you can go ahead and roll it out. Some people like to crease it and turn it to stretch your dough like this. For me, I'm not very well at doing it that way, so I opt always to use some flour in my rolling pin because it just works out better for me. If you have a tortilla press, you can also use a tortilla press, and then that goes by really, really fast. I just didn't want to get that out. It's real heavy and takes up a lot of room on my counter. So you just go ahead and keep flipping and turning this around until you get it the size that you want. I will say though, in making these in the different shapes and sizes, that if you want a lot of dough, go for the little round ones. But if you are wanting more filling and less dough, then go for the half moon shaped ones. Those ones were amazing. The dough was like perfectly thin and had such a thick filling and just a little bit of dough left on the outside where we crimped the edges. Now when we made the round ones, they had a lot of dough and it pushed the filling in different directions while it was baking in the oven. And so there wasn't much filling in there at all. It was like a third of what was in the half moon shaped ones. But what you want to do is you want to put your filling down on your dough. And right now we're making just a regular round roll. So then you're going to pick up all that excess dough and pull it together and start crimping the edges together and sealing them by pinching them with your fingers. You do not need to use any water or any type of egg or anything like that. You just want to pinch them together. And once you have it all the way sealed up so that the filling's not coming up, you're going to kind of like tuck it around and round it up. And then you want to flip this side downward right on to your baking sheet that you're going to be baking this on. You see how we did it like that, and then that will all just kind of get fixed as it is baking. But like I said, that is a lot of extra dough, so just keep in mind that you're going to have a lot more dough, less filling doing it this route. It will extend your filling to go further, but it won't be as tasty if you like the filling over the pastry part of it. Also, you can opt in to add cheese into them. I made some with cheese for my husband because he likes cheese. You could put any type of cheese you want in there. Grated stick, mozzarella stick, whatever. Just place a piece in there. I put mine on the dough after I rolled it out before I put my filling in. And I made some of them that way for him. And as you can see here now, I have those 4 with cheese, and you can slightly see the cheese stick I put in there. I used just Colby Jack cheese for those. So there's 4 for him. I made 3 more just with the regular filling, no cheese in them, for our neighbor. And then I like mustard in mine, a lot of mustard. So I added about 1.5 tablespoons of yellow mustard to the filling and mixed it up well. These ones I'm going to put in a moon shape so they do not get, mixed up with the other ones. I love the BierRocks with a lot of mustard. It's so delicious. So you'll roll your dough out the same and you'll put your filling in. You should be able to put double, maybe even triple amount of filling right into the center of the dough during the half moon. Once you have the desired amount of filling, make sure you have 1 inch around the entire thing. For your dough, you grab the 2 top corners and pull it over and press down around the edges of where the filling ends. So make sure you seal it. Then just start folding over and pinching all the way around until you have a nice seal on that. It does not have to be perfect, But get that folded and pinched and folded and pinched until it is completely sealed. And now you can see, there you go, is your half moon pie. And of course you're going to have way more filling and less dough doing it that way. You're just going to go ahead and repeat the process until you have all your pies done. This dough, I got a dozen of them out, and it was enough to do the 4 with cheese, the 3 without, and then 3 of the pie rolls. I had to cut one of the doughs into 3 pieces and put it with these 3 to make it a little bit bigger and get it the right size. But if you're doing just the little round ones, it will make a dozen rolls for a dozen lovely BierRocks sandwiches. Also, if you have too much dough left over, you can use a pizza cutter or a knife to just cut the excess off. Just make sure you have about a ½ inch to an inch to be able to crimp around the edges. At this point, I had a little bit too much because I only had a little bit of filling left. So I went ahead and just cut that excess dough right off. It's very easy to do. Then just go ahead and proceed with your pinching and crimping around the edges. But as you can see, it did make quite a bit of filling and several meat pies. So once you have all of your meat pies filled and ready, you're going to go ahead and get yourself out a baking sheet, and you'll want to line it with parchment paper or spray it with some cooking spray. I chose just to spray mine with cooking spray. And then you're going to go ahead and place your parchment paper right on top now, or if you're not using parchment paper, just go ahead and place your dough rolls on there. I went ahead and placed mine down as I egg washed them just to make it a little bit easier. I didn't want a bunch of that egg wash all over the dish. I had run out of parchment paper, so that's why I had done it this way. You go ahead and do your egg wash. Make sure to keep your rolls separated if you're making several different types so you know what they are. These ones are the cheese stuffed ones that I made for my husband. It was the first time he had had BierRocks, and he loves meat and cheese, so we went ahead and put some cheese in there for him. Next time we'll be making him some moon pie shaped ones. He was looking at mine like, hey, why did you get so much filling and why did I get so much bread? It was quite entertaining. So you go ahead and get your egg wash. I just used straight yolks. I pulled the egg whites out and I put them in a container in the refrigerator. And actually we had them this morning for breakfast. So that worked out really well. You'll go ahead and just continue to egg wash these and put them in your pan. And then after I got these cheesy ones lined up, I put my moon pies in with these ones. It's a smaller pan, so it worked out. After I got them in, I was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and turn these pies a little candy quarter so that they fit in there a little bit better. I did not top these with anything. These ones went straight in just like that. And then the next set, I got my pan and I brushed my egg wash on there. And then I topped these 3 regular ones with some everything bagel seasoning. You can also top yours with sesame seeds, with a kosher salt or sea salt, whichever you like. It's up to you. And you'll want to bake these at 375 for 25 to 30 minutes until golden brown. Let them cool for 5 to 10 minutes, and voila! You have the most beautiful and delicious BierRocks, Piroshkis, or Rankans. And do not quote me on this. I do not know how to say them all properly, but I'm trying. This week we're doing it a little bit different. My husband is from Indiana, and they had their first snow, so we're sharing snow pictures from Indiana this week. And as you can see, they got quite a lot. This is over in Indianapolis. They didn't get quite as much. And then other parts of the southwest side where my husband is from, they got a little bit thicker snow, as you can see here. And here's a photo of his mom and dad's driveway. As you can see, they got quite a lot there by the Kentucky border. They were loving the snow. It's always nice when it's your first snow, am I right?
But do not forget to do good and to share, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased. Hebrews 13:16.
Thank you for being here on Cooking with Kayla D. As always, we say stay in that kitchen and keep on cooking. God bless. And if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and share our channel. And remember to hit your notification bell to get all the up-to-date episodes. If you have not subscribed yet, you can hit that notification bell so you get all the up-to-date episodes. You can click the icon here to the left to subscribe to our channel, or here on the right for some more delicious recipes.